I'm Danielle. Welcome to Bhav Brigade's Wednesday Flow at Home. We're very grateful that you have taken the time to spend with us from afar and give yourself time for your yoga practice. A couple of quick announcements before we get into our slow flow today. If you have any props, blankets, I'm sitting on one, blocks, anything that's going to make your practice more sustainable throughout the next hour or so. Could be a pillow, could be a soft towel, anything that you think you might want to grab, go ahead and take a moment. And we are also very grateful that even though we're celebrating from afar, this week marks 5 years of Bhav Brigade bringing yoga and wellness to the Hampton Roads community. So we're very excited that on this Saturday, I believe it's May 16th at 11 a.m., with one of our very first partners to bringing yoga to unexpected places and public spaces. In particular, Slover Library is hosting a Facebook Live class for us. Again, that's this Saturday, May 16th at 11 a.m. from the Slover Facebook account. I'm very grateful to my partner, Michael, who is on staff at Slover, and he's able to help facilitate that. Even though we'll be in this space, you can find it on the Slover Live account, and we'll post links from our accounts as well. Okay, if you haven't already, find a comfortable seat. I'm seated on a blanket just to lift my hips just a little bit up. Feel the pelvis tilts just slightly forward as you elongate the tailbone. I'm sitting with my legs crisscrossed. If you want to sit on a block, on your knees, whatever's going to be available for you. And then slowly, if it feels good, let the eyes close. Bring the shoulders up towards the ears, around, back, and down. And anytime we're in either a standing or a seated position, I encourage you to pull the lower ribs in as your tailbone elongates. And so we're using our core, we're using our trunk to help elongate through the spine, but protecting the spine by pulling the belly softly in. And that's our focus on class today, is we're moving the spine in all different ways, healthy, accessible ways, of course, using props as needed. But I really want you to focus on your spine. Really bring everything into the core, into the center after you settle in. And when I say bring everything in, I mean your awareness. I'm trying to be clearer with my words as I'm from afar, rather than in class with you somewhere with more opportunities for connection. So these are different ways for connection. So I invite you to reconnect with yourself, with your spinal health. Really take inventory and notice as you root down to the earth below, all the way up to the crown of the head. How does your spine feel? Take a couple more moments, kind of settling in. I have my eyes closed, but gazing softly down the nose can be great as well. Take a deep breath in, sigh it out. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale through the nose. Keeping the eyes closed, if that's comfortable, inhale, palms at the heart space. Sigh it out again. Close the lips, but don't lock out through the jaw or the teeth. Give some comfortable space between the teeth with the lips closed. Take a few rounds of natural breath here. If it's in your practice to set an intention, I invite you to do so. Maybe you focus on a collective intention of connection and compassion. Whatever pops into mind first. We'll seal that intention with 1 round of an optional Om. Inhale for Om. Inhale, flutter the eyes open. Maybe you want to switch the cross of the legs if they've been crossed that way for a length of time. And in the interest of moving our spine in a different way than we've been seated for a few breaths, we're going to focus on some lateral side bending. So we'll do some extension, we'll do some side bending throughout our practice. So for this first one, I'm doing my best to mirror you as I'm facing the camera. So bring for now, bring both palms down, walk the fingertips out. So maybe you tent the fingertip, let the shoulders draw away from the ears. Again, pull the lower ribs in. Just notice how this feels. And now slowly start to walk the left fingertips out just a little bit more. Inhale, reach the right arm up, either look up or down. And then slowly start to maybe even walk the left palm out further. Maybe you bend the forearm, bring in a block sometimes might be useful. So you could do that. And now once you're down, either again, look down or up, try and rotate the shoulders to stack on top of each other, looking whichever direction is best for you. So we're moving slow on this first one, then we'll find some one breath, one movement after we do the other side. So inhale, reach both arms up, and as you exhale, walk the right fingertips out. As you tent them, maybe start to bend through the elbow, move nice and slow. Keep the hips grounded, looking up or down as you bend through that right elbow, really actively reaching through the left side body. Try and stack the shoulders, soften through the base of the neck. And now that we've done both sides nice and slow, inhale, both arms reach. Exhale, bring the left arm down, side bend. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring the right arm down, side bend. So you're moving with your breath. Take this at a couple more rounds. Inhale, reach. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, up. Exhale, side bend to your right. Couple more rounds. One more complete round. Inhale, both arms reach. Exhale, palms at the heart space and alongside the body. All right, so I like to keep my blanket underneath my knees anytime that I'm going to bring my knees or my shins to the earth for a long time. It helps for a sustainable long-term practice. So I encourage you, if you need some extra padding for the knees, bring that blanket or a towel or a really kind of thin, soft pillow. I have my toes tucked because that gives me more stability, but if you want to lengthen the toes back behind you, that's fine. So again, the hips are stacked on top of the toes. Palms can come to the hips. Reach your right leg out to the side. Go ahead and keep the toes forward as you just slide the right palm down the right leg. So now you'll notice a bit of just a small opening along the left side body. So bring your torso just slightly forward. Maybe slide the right arm down just a little bit more, but now elongate the tailbone, pull the lower ribs in. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Again, you can look down or up. So this is similar to the movement that we did a moment ago. We're just holding for a full breath here just to notice how this feels. And then on an inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, reach the left palm to the earth. So it's going to stack underneath the left shoulder. Keep the right arm extended alongside the right ear as you try and stack the shoulders. Tailbone is orienting toward your back heel. So again, one breath, one movement. Be kind to your knees. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, extending to your right. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, left palm down. Right arm extends. Finding one breath, one movement, continuing to move with your breath for a few rounds. Remember to keep the lower ribs pulled in. Really press in through the outer edge of your right foot. Take 2 more rounds. One more complete round. So this time we inhale, reach up. Take your last round on your exhale. Coming up this one more time for our extended side angle with our knee down. And then lifting up. Bend your right knee, place it back underneath your hips. Just come to sit for a moment. In fact, if it's comfortable for you to sit on your knees, go ahead and stay seated on your knees. I'll demo bringing a block underneath the hips, so I'll just turn to the side for a moment. So I'm going to place the block under here. If you'd like that, just a little bit more lift. Just a gentle, very gentle kind of opening of the quads. If it is comfortable for you to stay on your knees, block or no block. Let the eyes closed for just a complete breath. Inhale, flutter the eyes open as the arms reach up. Exhale, take a gentle twist out to your right. So the right arm comes behind you, left palm across the right thigh. Just an easy twist before we do the other side. Inhale, arms reach up, come back to center. Exhale, twist it out to the other side. Left arm behind you, right arm across the body. Inhale back through neutral, lift up to your shins, remove any block if you have it, readjust your blanket if you need it. And now this time on an exhale, reach your left leg out to the side, keeping the left toes forward. Slide the left arm down the leg. I forgot to cue that you don't want to press into the knee, right? It's just, so it all depends on your arm and torso length, so make sure you're not pressing into your side of your knee or the back or the front, anywhere on the knee. Now bring the chest slightly forward. See if you can draw the left arm down just a little bit more. And as you inhale, reach the right arm up, either looking up or down. We're being slow on this first one, just to feel how it feels in our body. Try and stack the shoulders. And as you inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, right palm to the earth, stack it underneath the right shoulder. Bring the left arm along the ear, either looking down or up. Really activate, pressing into the outer edge of your left foot. Okay, now one breath, one movement. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, side bend out to your left. Notice that opening along the right side body. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, a modified kind of side plank, extended side angle to your right. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, side bend to your left. You get the nice stretch along the right side body for you. So sorry if I misspoke earlier. Again, moving with your breath. One breath, one movement. 2 more rounds. One more round, at least my breath counts, so do what feels good for you. All right, on the next inhale, arms reach. Exhale, draw both knees in. Come to sit on the knees for just for a moment. And now go ahead and lift to the knees, come off any blanket that you might have. And in fact, since the next thing I'm going to practice with you involves the knees being down, I'm going to go ahead and keep the blanket there for my knees. So you're going to come to sit on the shins again. This time I do have my toes elongated behind me. So you're welcome to watch on this first one. We're doing a modified chaturanga flow where our palms are going to come down and our toes are going to lift. If you've practiced this before, go ahead and practice with me. Otherwise, maybe you watch for one and I'll continue on for a few rounds with you. So press the shins into the earth or the blanket. Inhale, arms reach up. Moving slow on this first one. Exhale, palms come to the earth as we shift the shoulders to stack on top of the wrists. In fact, the shoulders are just slightly forward. So right now I am exaggerating the length of this movement. We are going to be moving with our breath. So pull the lower ribs in. I get that lordosis, that the curvature in my low back. So on the exhale, when I cue us as we go through the flow on this, We'll bend our elbows, lift the toes. So we bring our elbows to hug tightly into the ribs. As we inhale, shins lower, arms reach. Exhale, palms down, shift forward, toes lift. Inhale, arms reach as the shins come to the earth. Exhale, palms down, toes lift. Hug the elbows in toward the rib cage. 2 more times. Inhale, reach the fingers up. Exhale, palms down, lift the toes. 1 more time. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, palms down, lift the toes. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, bring the hips to the heels just for a moment. Take a breath. And another. Okay, I'm going just to tuck my toes, remove the blanket for now. And let's find a child's pose. We're going to do a modification. If you want a traditional child's pose with the palms underneath the shoulders, go for it. I'm going to practice more forearm usage today, with the exception of down dog, where I'll go ahead and have the palms down as we normally would. But as I mentioned last time, I was feeling a little bit of hip sensitivity from so much yoga practice. And the last couple of days, as I've kind of worked on that and slowed things down, and I feel stronger in my hips, I've been able to notice some wrist tension. So I've been trying to work with using forearms as an alternative. So of course, this is your practice, you do you. I'm going to bring the forearms to the earth with the elbows stacked underneath the shoulders. Kind of looking in the camera there to see if you maybe bring the hips back a little bit so the knees are underneath the hips. Pull the lower ribs in. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Look down and just slightly forward. So this is our modified kind of tabletop with our forearms down. On an inhale, dip the belly slightly, tailbone lifts. Heart shines forward. Exhale, begin rounding from the tailbone. Eventually the chin will pull in toward the chest. Continue this 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhale as we shine the heart forward. Exhale as we round. Take a couple more rounds wherever you are. Last round. Inhale back to whatever version of tabletop you're in. Now go ahead and widen the knees, bring the big toes together, draw the hips back toward the heels, and then bring the forehead toward the earth. That's child's pose, Balasana. Child's pose is available to you at any time if you'd like to just take a pause. Sometimes bending the elbows, stacking the forearms as a shelf for your forehead can work. Sometimes bringing a block underneath the forehead. And sometimes just a comfortable seat is a nice pause. Inhale, really reach the arms forward, just keep the shoulders drawing away from the ears. And as you exhale, walk the palms out to the left. And the torso is going to come to the left just a little bit. I only have my head lifted so I can project, and then I'll work with you. But if you notice your right hip coming forward, bring the right hip back in space, maybe ease off on how much you've come to the left with your arms and torso. Let the forehead settle in if it's not already. Again, notice that nice side bend along your right side body as you move toward the left. Take a couple breaths here. As you inhale, come back through neutral and center, and then exhale, walk the palms on the torso out to the right. Draw the left hip back in space, maybe stack the left palm on top of the right. Let the forehead settle in. Take a few breaths here. Inhale back through neutral. tuck the toes. I'm going to come to the forearms for just a moment as I shift the shoulders slightly forward. Keep the knees bent so much that there's a shelf for your torso. Now press into the palms, lift through the elbows, spread the fingers nice and wide with the thumbs in about halfway. Draw the ears between the upper arms, and now slowly start to lift the hips up and back, bending one knee at a time. Whatever feels good for you to find some movement in this first downward dog of our practice, maybe of the day or of the week for you. So hips draw up and back, chest comes toward the thighs. Try and press out slightly through the upper arms as the armpits come in toward the heart space. And now maybe you find stillness, maybe not, maybe you just keep moving and pedaling. I'm going to bend my knees deeply, lift the hips up and back, and start to lengthen my legs, heels energetically coming toward the earth, even though the goal is not for them to touch. Okay, in this interest of moving the spine in all kinds of fun, safe directions and moving slowly, I'm going to exaggerate the length of the movement on this first one, and then we'll do one breath, one movement for our own breath pacing. Inhale, shift forward through plank. So we're not going to hold in plank. We're going to lower the hips slightly, keep the toes tucked, draw the shoulders away from the ears, keep the lower ribs pulled in. And then on the exhale, use the core, lift the hips up and back to down dog. So that's our lazy dog movement. As we inhale, shift forward through plank as the hips lower, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, use the core, hips up and back. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale to lazy dog. That's through plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 more time. Inhale forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Side out. Inhale, look forward at your palms. As you exhale, slowly walk the feet forward to meet the hands. Since I have blocks, I'm going to bring the blocks. So find your half lift palms to shins. Exhale, fold, keeping a bend in the knees. Couple deep breaths here, having the feet wider if needed. And now let's find one breath, one movement. Inhale, half lift, so we're like an upside down L, shifting the weight slightly forward. Exhale, fold, having that gentle bend in the knee. Inhale, lengthen for your half lift. Exhale, bend. Let's do that a few times at your pace. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. 2 more rounds. One more, inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Keeping the knees bent, bring the palms to the hip creases. As you inhale, hinge up, neutral spine. Maybe reach the arms up for a bit of an upper back bend. Exhale, palms at the heart space and alongside the body, finding your Tadasana. So even though I indicated at the beginning of practice that we are going to be moving nice and slow, as you've already practiced and maybe felt in your body and breath, we're still moving very actively, but we're moving with our breath. And if you are looking for a more energetic practice, as we flow through the standing poses, maybe you add in extra flows if I am only cueing one, or sometimes none, because again, I'm trying to give my wrists a bit of a break. But this is your practice. As you're here in your mountain pose, your Tadasana, take a brief body scan. This is one of the few moments of stillness that we're cultivating in today's practice. So can you notice from the heels all the way up to the crown of the head, Focusing particularly on your spine. How does your body feel today? Where might you want to send some extra love and energy with each exhale throughout your practice? Notice that you're not dumping into your inner arches. Inhale, reach the arms up. Take your right palm, grab for your left wrist, and then exhale. Take a side bend toward your right. So nice stretch along the left side body. Try and keep the hips facing forward. If that left hip wants to come forward, kind of draw it back. Take a deep breath in. Looking down or up, side out. Inhale, bring everything back through center. Exhale, other side. Left palm gently draws the right arm over on an exhale. Draw the right hip back in space if it's coming forward, looking up or down. Inhale, side out. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the arms behind you for shoulder stretch. Inhale, draw the hips down, butt back and face, arms alongside the ears, our modified chair. One breath, one movement. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming up in whatever way is best for your body. Exhale, shoulder stretch, forward fold. Bending the knees if needed. Inhale to chair. Exhale, fold. We'll find that 3 more times at your pace. Inhale, reach. Exhale, shoulder stretch, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. 2 more times. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, shoulder stretch, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. We're coming to our last round. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, shoulder stretch, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. This time, half lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming up in whatever way is best for your body. Maybe a bit of an upper back bend. Exhale, palms at the heart. And alongside the body. I'm going to close my eyes for a breath or two. I invite you to do the same if that feels good, or gaze softly down the nose. Inhale, arms reach, heart lifts. Exhale, fold it forward. Half lift on your inhale. Exhale, palms press, step the right foot back to your low lunge. And before you release anything, I'm going to bring my blanket back, as I said, for extra padding for my knee. Just really elongate through the right leg, and then lower the right knee to the earth on an exhale. Maybe elongate the toes back behind you. Left knee stacks on top of the left ankle. Hips are forward. Reach the arms forward, hook the thumbs, lift up if that's in your practice, and ease out of the lunge a little bit. Don't collapse into the hip flexibility, but really press into the left foot to lift up through the pelvic floor. Maybe you get a bit of an upper back bend, maybe you stay exactly where you are. Couple moments of stillness here, or you can pulse if that feels good for you, if you want to keep moving. Exhale, palms frame the left foot. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee. Press back to plank, knowing that on this exhale, we'll all release our knees just behind the hips. Point the toes back behind you. Inhale, shift slightly forward. Exhale, bend either a quarter or a halfway down. Pull the lower ribs in, elbows in tight toward the ribs. Inhale, press the chest forward. Lift through the tops of the knees, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, maybe roll over the toes, finding your way to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. As you inhale, in as many steps as it takes, step the right foot up between the palms. Notice I bring my right foot out to the side and then I wiggle it in. Look forward, really lengthen through the left leg, and then exhale, release the left knee. Point the left toes back behind you if that's in your practice. Right knee stacks on top of the right ankle. Hips are forward. Reach the arms forward, hook the thumbs. Inhale, press up, lift out of the hip flexibility. Take a couple of breaths here. Maybe you pulse in and out. Coming back to your breath. As you exhale, palms come to the earth to frame the right foot. Tuck the left toes, lift the back knee. And as many steps as it takes, step the left foot forward to meet the right, folding in. Half lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold, coming up in whatever way is best for your body. Exhale, finding Tadasana. Take a clearing breath here. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward, shining the heart forward. Half lift on your inhale. Exhale, step the left leg back. Stand the ball of the left foot. Right knee stacks on top of the right ankle. Bring the left palm on the earth underneath the left shoulder. And on an exhale, twist it out to the right, reaching the right fingertips up. Now I know I'm facing away from you, not mirroring you, but I'm cueing you as we're moving. So try and have that right knee pointing forward, not drawing in or out. Try and draw the right hip back just a little bit. Let's find some dynamic movement. On the exhale, you'll look down as you bend your right elbow, bring the right palm to your heart space. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, looking down, touch your heart. 3 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, look down, touch your heart. 2 more rounds. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, look down, touch your heart. 1 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, look down. Continuing to look down, bring both palms to the earth. Step back to plank. Release the knees if that's in your practice. Inhale, shift forward as you point the toes back. Exhale, lower halfway, maybe a quarter of a way. Inhale, press the chest forward, lift off the knees, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, finding downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And a long breath out. As you inhale, in as many steps as is comfortable, step the left foot forward and wiggle it in between the palms. Left knee stacks on top of the left ankle. Finding extension in the spine. Right palm presses underneath the right shoulder. As you exhale, twist it out to your left. And we'll find our flow as we, this time on the next exhale, look down, bend the left elbow, touch the left palm under the leg into the heart space. 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend. Touch your heart. 3 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend and touch your heart space. 2 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, touch your heart. Last round. Inhale, reach. Exhale, touch your heart space. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring both palms to the earth. Step your back foot forward as many steps as it takes, folding in. Half lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. Coming up, your choice. Exhale, finding Tadasana. This is the point that I'm going to take a sip of water. Maybe you would like to do the same. I did remember my inhaler today, so I'm feeling the difference. I'm feeling the air in my lungs staying steadier, but it's a little warm in here, so I'm going to take a pause. Okay, since my blanket is still in the middle of my mat, I'm going to go ahead and move that since I don't need it right now for the standing sequence. I invite you to take a turn to whatever way is facing the camera for you in a wide-legged position. And now palms at the hips. Exhale, Turn your right toes toward the right edge of your mat. Hips are facing forward. And I'm going to extend my stance just a little bit. But again, this is your practice. So that my back heel is firmly pressed into the earth. The outer edge of your left foot should be firmly pressed. And then your left toes are just kind of slightly forward, ever so slightly. So we're going to find triangle in a moment, but we're not going to settle into it. We're going to use our hips to hinge up and down, and the strength of our core and the elongation of our spine to help facilitate that movement. So bring the arms out at shoulder height, palms facing open toward the same place that your torso is facing, maybe toward the camera if that's the case for you like me. And then on an exhale, we're hinging the hips forward toward your right leg, and then let your right palm come down without touching. Maybe you extend by looking up to your left thumb. Inhale, come back up with the arms parallel to the earth. So as we exhale, draw the right hip in as we fold down. Inhale, coming up. Try not to lock out of the knees. You have a micro bend in the knee. Exhale, find our modified triangle. Inhale, coming up. 2 more times. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, coming up. Last round. Exhale, hinge and fold into triangle. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, turn both feet parallel, bring the arms down, and just let the arms sway a little bit. Micro bend in the knee. Palms at the hips. On your next exhale, turn the toes toward, your left toes toward the left edge of your mat. And now readjust your stance as needed, so your right heel is pressing behind you, and then the right toes, they're also behind you, but they're just slightly facing forward. Really press into the outer edge of your right foot. Bring the arms up at shoulder height. Bring the palms facing out and open, the same direction as your torso. Moving slowly on the first one, as you exhale, hinge the hips. So you're drawing the hips back toward your right. As you reach down, maybe you look up at your right arm. Inhale, hinging up. Exhale, hinging down. 3 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last round coming up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, turn both feet parallel, release the arms, bring the palms to the hips, extend through the spine. Exhale, hinge forward. Let's take a bit of a forward fold, palms underneath you. Half lift on an inhale. Exhale, find your favorite version of a wide-legged forward fold. I'm gonna bring the palms just outside the edges of my feet. I encourage you to shift the weight slightly forward, micro bend in the knee, so the hips are stacked more on top of the ankles rather than coming back behind you toward the back edge of your mat. You bend the elbows deeply, draw the crown of the head toward the earth without finding your edge. Maybe you pulse in and out. Maybe you inhale, take your half lift. Maybe you exhale, fold. I'm going to do that a few times in this interest of dynamic movement. So that micro bend in the knee helps facilitate. Couple more breaths wherever you are. Sigh it out on your last round. If your palms have moved anywhere, inhale, bring them back underneath the face. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bring the palms to the hip creases. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Just step to the front of your mat. Take a pause. Take a body scan here. I'm just checking the time. I checked my watch earlier and got away from me. Okay. So from Tadasana, bring the palms to the hips. And I'm not mirroring you this time, I'm moving with you. Exhale, step your left foot back behind you. We're preparing for warrior one. Again, moving slow on the first round. Hips are forward. Really press into the outer edge of your left foot. Right knee stacks on top of the right ankle. Notice my stance is a little shorter. If you want to lengthen your stance and try and get your right thigh parallel with the earth, be my guest. I am, as I said last class, kind of easing off of that. So the goal is to have the hips forward and without collapsing into your left arch. Inhale, reach the arms up so we feel what it's like to be in warrior one. And you can extend the arms more if you like. I like to kind of take my time, be a little gentle with my body with all the yoga practice that we're getting at home these days, at least for me. And now we'll find one breath, one movement after we move slowly through this second portion. So I just told you we're doing one breath, one movement, and I got ahead of myself. I didn't show you what the second part was. So on an inhale, we'll lengthen through the right leg. Exhale, reach forward with the arms and the torso. So the torso is kind of parallel to the earth. As you exhale, rebend into the right knee. Swim the arms back behind you like you're swimming in water. Interlace the fingers behind the back. And take a bit of a humble warrior. So the right shoulder kind of dips just inside or on top of the right knee, but you're not pressing shoulder to knee. That's just kind of the movement. So again, we're moving slow on this first one, drawing the right hip back, keeping the palms clasped. Inhale, we'll lift the torso, reach the arms up. As we exhale, reach forward, draw the hip back, lengthen through the legs to give it a bit of a break. Arms are forward. And as we exhale, rip into the right knee, swim the arms back behind you, interlace the fingers, find your humble warrior. Inhale, coming up, reach the arms up. Exhale, lengthen the right leg as you reach the arms and the torso forward. Give your leg a break. Exhale, rebend into the right knee, swim the arms back behind you, find your humble warrior. 2 more times. Inhale, coming up, warrior one. Exhale, draw the right hip back, lengthen the right arm, the right leg, reach the arms and the torso forward. Exhale, rebend into the right knee, draw the palms back behind you, interlace, find your humble warrior. Inhale, coming up. Last round. Exhale, lengthen the right leg, reach forward. And as you exhale, rebend into the right knee, swim the arms back behind you, interlace, find your humble warrior. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, palms of the heart space, step the left foot forward, find your Tadasana. So take a couple of breaths here, have a sip of water. Notice how your spine feels, notice how your knees feel, your hips. Brief inventory here before we do the other side. Palms at the hips. And on an exhale, step your right foot back behind you. Again, moving slow on this first round. Making any adjustments as needed as you bend into the left knee, not collapsing into your right arch. Tailbone down, lower ribs in, arms reach up. Take a breath or more here. Feel your body in this pose. Feel the pose in your body. And now moving slowly on this one as you inhale, lengthen through the left leg to give it a break. Exhale, fold forward halfway. As you take a breath in, exhale, rebend into the left knee, swim the arms back behind you, interlace the fingers, take your humble fold. Remember on this one, you want to draw the left hip back. The left toe still is orienting, kind of pointing toward the second and third toe. Now we'll find our one breath, one movement. Inhale, coming up, arms reach into warrior one. As we exhale, fold forward. Lengthen through the left leg, give it a break. Inhale here. Exhale, re-bend into the left knee. Find that swim. Interlace the fingers, humble warrior. Inhale, coming up into warrior one. We're going to do this 3 more times. As you exhale, lengthen through the left leg. Come halfway forward on your inhale. Exhale, re-bend into the left knee. Swim the arms back. Find your humble warrior. 2 more times. Inhale, coming up into warrior one. As you exhale, coming halfway forward, lengthen through the left leg. Take a breath. This time, exhale, re-bend into the left knee. Swim the arms back. Find your humble warrior. Inhale, coming up. Last round. Lengthen through the left leg as you reach forward. Exhale, re-bend into the left knee. Swim the arms back. Clasp the hands. Find your humble warrior. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, palms at the heart space. Step the right leg forward. Find your Tadasana. Deep breath in. And a long breath out. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold it forward. Half lift on your inhale. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. If you'd like to find a flow, be my guest. You can inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, come all the way or halfway. Inhale, press the heart forward. Exhale, meet in down dog. Take a couple breaths here. Maybe you find child's pose, knowing that's available to you. In fact, let's lower the knees. Extend the hips back toward the heels and find a child's pose, forehead to the earth. You're welcome to stay in child's pose as long as you like. In this interest of continuing to move our spine, extension, and flexion into a bit of a gentle heart opener, but also a bit of core work, because who all doesn't need a little bit of that? I know I do. We are going to alternate between Sphinx and a forearm plank. Completely optional, so I will practice with you. So if you are in child's pose, I encourage you to come up when you're ready, or you can skip this, stay in your child's pose, do whatever feels best for you. For the rest of us, we bring the knees a little bit closer, bring the forearms to the earth. So the shoulders are stacked on top of the elbows, palms press, and then lengthen one leg at a time back, finding your forearm plank. So pull the lower ribs in, shine the sternum forward. On inhale, we lower the hips, point the toes back behind you, lift out of the shoulders. So this is our Sphinx. So one breath, one movement at your pace. Exhale, tuck the toes. Use the core, lift into our forearm plank. Inhale is when we find our Sphinx. Exhale, forearm plank 3 more times. Inhale, Sphinx. Exhale, forearm plank. Inhale, Sphinx. Exhale, forearm plank 1 more time. Inhale, Sphinx. Exhale, forearm plank. Inhale, Sphinx, and hold. So don't hold the breath. Maybe slide the elbows just slightly forward to sustain. Widen the feet just a little bit. Lengthen the tailbone. Lift out of the shoulders, pressing into the palms. Widening through the collarbones. Try and relax the glutes. I just felt that I was a little tense. It happens naturally. It's all about self-protection. Try and release what you can. And on your next exhale, widen the elbows, stack the palm, bring the forehead to the palms. And then maybe sway the feet just a little bit. As you are ready, bring the palms back underneath the shoulders. Lift up through a modified tabletop. One more posture that I'll practice with you, showing that the forearms can be a nice alternative for a home practice of plank with the forearms instead of the palm down, where there might be wrist strain. So we'll come back into our modified forearm. Modified forearm table, like you may have practiced with me earlier. So the knees are lifted, stacked on top of the hips. And I'm not mirroring you, I'm just going to have you turn your right arm toward the left edge of your mat. So now that your forearm is kind of underneath your face, right more, it's kind of underneath the sternum. And rotate, so again, I'm not mirroring you, so your right palm and forearm are down, your fingertips facing toward the left long edge of your mat. Rotate so that your hips are coming to the right side of your mat. Bend your right knee, right toes are behind you. Extend through the left toes facing forward. Reach the left fingertips up. So that's one modification. Maybe you lengthen both legs and stack the feet. That's another version. Maybe you bend the top knee rather than the bottom knee and place the left foot in front of you. So take a couple of breaths in one of these versions. Try and press out of the right shoulder. And then slowly on an exhale, bring both palms down. Just take a bit of a child's pose, maybe with the forearms as a shelf for your forehead. Take another breath there if you need to. I'm just moving to the other side of my mat just to better demo, so I'm facing you rather than facing away. So come back to that forearm table position. This time, again, not mirroring you, moving with you. Turn your left forearm in, so the left fingertips are facing toward the edge of your mat. Bring I'm not hearing you. Yeah, so the right palm is going to come out of the way for a moment as you rotate onto your left side. So you're going to bend the left knee first, maybe the left toes come back behind you, right toes reach out, and the arm reaches up. Maybe you press both palms down, lengthen through both legs, stack the feet, really lift up through the hips if you do this version. Maybe you bend the right knee, which is your top knee, bring the right foot in front of you. Or if you do, try and lift through the hips, press out of the left shoulder and elbow. Couple breaths here, wherever you've chosen. And now exhale, look down, bring both palms to the earth. One last child's pose if that feels good for you, or maybe one more flow. This is your practice. Start to slow the breath down. So either elongating the spine for a couple breaths in child's pose or a couple breaths in downward facing dog. If you're in down dog, slowly walk the palms and feet to the middle of your mat and take a seat. If you're in child's pose, just come to sit up. And we will focus on a couple of poses to slow us down and bring us into our resting or shavasana. So let's lengthen through the left leg, bend the right knee, place the right foot inside the left thigh. And I'm not mirroring you, I'm just moving with you. Left toes are flexed. Turn your torso. So first of all, bring the palms, kind of tent them along the hips. Now on an inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, turn toward your right knee. So your torso's turned toward your right knee, but you're really pressing the left leg into the earth with a micro bend in the left knee. And ankle and toes are flexed on your left foot. Bring your left palm across the body, so you're kind of just gently gripping the right thigh. Inhale, reach the right arm up. As you exhale, bring your left ear towards your left thigh. I'm so used to cueing and mirroring, and I'm not, so I'm making it harder than it has to be. So this is really about extension in the spine. Try and stack the shoulders. You don't have to touch your toes. Keeping the hips rooted. On your next inhale, come back up. Now turn the torso facing forward. Tent the fingertips to the earth. Now twist the torso slightly toward the left. As you exhale, hinge forward, Janu Shirsasana. Forward fold. Whatever way feels best for you. Maybe you pulse in and out. Maybe this is a good time to find some stillness. Grab what you can. Folding in. So you inhale, hinge up. Exhale, lengthen both legs. So we're going to find Dandasana as our neutral pose. We still have the ankles flexed so the toes are coming toward the body. Lengthen through the spine. Maybe the palms come to the thighs or they come outside the hips. Active through the legs, but micro bend in the knees. In fact, continue to find Dandasana for another breath or two. I'm just turning the other way for ease of kind of being more toward you in this twist. So keep the right leg extended, bend the left knee, bring the sole of the left foot into the right thigh. And then on an inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, twist the torso toward your left knee, your bent knee. Your right palm is going to come across the body, just kind of lightly gripping the left thigh. As you inhale, reach up through the left arm. And you exhale, bring your right ear toward your right thigh. Kind of rotate the shoulders. Maybe you pulse in and out, totally up to you, but keep the right toes flexed. Really noticing the stretch along actually both sides of the torso right now. Try and keep the hips nice and grounded. But the extension is along your left side torso. And you just heard the mail carrier. It was so nice and gentle because Penny's at daycare. Not trying to murder our mail carrier. Okay, on an inhale, coming up. Exhale. This time, turn the torso slightly toward the right. Tent the fingertips, frame your extended leg. And now exhale, hinge forward. Grab what you can and find stillness. Maybe you pulse out, in and out a couple of times. Wherever you are, maybe come back to your intention. If you set one at the beginning of practice, slowing the breath if you haven't already started to do so. Couple more breaths. As you inhale, hinge up. Exhale, re-extend both legs. Find a breath or two in Dandasana. Maybe even reach the arms up overhead. Just notice how that feels. Notice as soon as I did that, I kind of collapsed a little bit. So try and lift out. And then, especially if you have the arms reached, take a micro bend in the knees, flex the feet. And as you hinge forward on your exhale, hinge forward as much as you can. Maybe even bring the palms to the belly, create some space. And now find Paschimottanasana, our final seated forward fold. Maybe you pulse in and out by elongating on the inhale. Exhale, folding in. Maybe you find stillness. Take a few breaths here. As you are ready, inhale, hinge up. And on your exhale, side out. All right, so this is the time that we're going to prepare for Shavasana. So if you have any props that you would like, maybe you bring your blocks where your feet will be, have a blanket ready for underneath the knees or a blanket under the head. And as you are ready, slowly, ever so slowly, just start to bring the spine to the earth. If there's any other movements you would like to make, be my guest. This is your practice after all. Only as you are ready, extend the legs, find your propping. Let the toes splay out, create some space between the side body and the arms. I like my palms face up, but it's totally up to you if you want to turn the palms down. For one more time, widen through the collarbones, draw the shoulder blades away from the ears and settle in. We'll stay here for a few minutes. If you would like to stay longer, take that time. If you would like to come out sooner than before I cue us, do what works for you. Start to release the thoughts of the breath, the thoughts of the body, and the thoughts of the day. Enjoy your rest. You are welcome to stay in Shavasana longer if you like. Only as you are ready, start to deepen the breath and the body movements very subtly. Maybe eventually pull one knee in at a time to your chest and roll to one side for a breath or more. I encourage you to keep the eyes closed if that feels good for you, honoring this moment, honoring the space that you've cultivated for yourself today. And then as you are ready, there's absolutely no rush. Press into your outer palm, come up to a seat. We'll close with an optional Om. So take a couple of breaths wherever you are in your seat. Taking a moment to acknowledge your breath, your body, and your mind. Inhale, palms to the heart space. Sigh it out. Inhale for Om. Om. Samasta, Suki no, Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. May the thoughts, words, and actions of our own lives contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining with Bhav Brigade. Please check out our social media accounts for updates about other classes and also for donation information if you are able and would like to donate. 100% of those donations for the Wednesday classes do benefit local organizations and small businesses that are the most in need. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.